All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're so glad that you're joining us tonight. My name is Barry Erickson, and I'm Community Engagement Coordinator at Wheaton Public Library. Tonight, we will be crafting along with Laura Barto to create a delightful winter scene wall hanging. So we're glad that you're here tonight. Laura has been a top leader with Stampin' Up! For 18 years. She is passionate not only about paper crafting, but inspiring and training her team to share these amazing products as well. Laura has been sharing her creative classes here at the library over the last few years and is excited to offer another one in this new virtual format. She designed this beautiful wall hanging for us to make using exciting new products from Stampin' Up! Laura has provided a demonstration video that I will be screen sharing. We will stop at various points to allow you to craft at your own pace. Laura is here to give us additional tips and answer any questions that we might have along the way. So before we get started with the video, Laura, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
No, I think I'm ready to have the fun.
Okay, so everyone, if you would have your kit ready, your glue, toothpick, and maybe a paper plate or something to squeeze some of the glue out on, I think we are ready to go ahead and screen share the video. So here we go.
Hi, I'm Laura Barto from Studio One Stampers. Welcome to the Winter Wall Hanging class. I designed this project just for you. It's a fun project that you can use to decorate for the holidays or perhaps give as a gift. I can't wait to show you how this goes together. Well, let's get started. Well, I hope you enjoy this sparkly sky wall hanging. It's just a beautiful, beautiful winter scene. And of course, peace is what we all need in this season. So let me just lay out and show you the pieces you should have. So you should have all the pieces in your kit that are laid out here. And let me show you how I made this piece for you. I'm just going to set this aside so I can show you how I made that piece. That piece started out with a piece of sparkly white paper. It's got a little bit of a copper snow kind of design in it. And then what I wanted to do is make certain that this sky, this moon or sun or whatever, stayed white. So what I did is I did a masking technique, and this technique uses a Post-it note and a punch. And what I want to do is find my sticky side of my Post-it note, which is right here. And I'm going to punch that so that some of that sticky is still on there for me. And then I'm going to lay that in place on here, and that's going to keep this part white. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a sponging technique, and I've picked the two sky colors, Pacific Point and Bermuda Bay. And I'm going to start with the Pacific Point. And I have my sponges, and I mark my sponges by putting the colors on them so I know to keep them in the correct color. These sponges come in a 3-pack, and I just took and cut them into quarters and then stapled this little piece on top. So each of those is just really a quarter of a sponge so that I could do that. It's just a nice way to do that. So I'm going to take my ink and I'm going to just sort of start smearing it on here, and I'm kind of going sideways because I want to make certain that it kind of looks like stripes of a cloud or whatever. And I want it darker at the top. I want this to be dark up here and a little wispier and a little lighter around this white, sun area, or moon, whatever you think it is. And then I'm going to open up my Bermuda Bay ink and do the same thing toward the bottom. So I'm going to add this ink in here and kind of mix my colors as I get close together. And again, I want it dark at the bottom. And it's fine if there's little white wispy areas in there, that's fine. And I can add just a little more of this to just blend the two together so there isn't a line between where they were. And then I have, if I take this off, then I can show you where my nice white piece came from. And so that's how that was done. Yours is already done for you, but I wanted to teach you something fun, and that technique is called masking. And you can do it to do all kinds of things. It just keeps the, it protects one area of the paper. All right, so now let's go ahead and bring our pieces back in. And we need to do a little bit of gluing to get our pieces put together. So the first thing we want to do is we want to get that sky piece put in, and we'll use a little bit of this liquid glue. I like to always use not too much, and see how I'm pulling in. My dots are not right at the edge so that when I put it down, they won't squeeze out all over. And I'm trying to make it so that I have a 1/4 inch here and a 1/4 inch there and a 1/4 inch there. So that piece goes there. And then this piece, this larger piece that has this little scallop piece on the top, my snow piece, I want to also do the same thing. And that's going to be also matching up on the sides here. So I'm going to make sure it matches here and leave again that 1/4 inch at the bottom. So it should overlap like that and sit together just like that. What I want to make certain that I do is make sure that I have a little bit of room under here, because this is where I need to tuck in all my trees. So I'm going to leave that up just a little bit without pushing that down. So
Okay, so we're going to pause it right there as you've got the 2 background pieces. I'm going to stop that screen share for a minute and screen share the final picture so you can see how that looks. So you should be seeing the final piece there. So we're going to give you just a couple of minutes here to get those 2 large pieces, the sky and that background, in place. So we'll pause here and let you craft along. I don't know if there's any other tips that you want to give at this point, Laura.
just to keep that top edge from going down so that you can tuck those trees in just a minute.
The snow area, right?
Exactly, that curve.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
It just makes me so happy to see this cute little snow scene.
It is. It looks great. And hopefully we'll have that much snow at Christmas. That would be fun.
Once we're all tucked inside and safe.
Right. Of course, I don't want any snow in January. So if you can arrange that.
I'll do my best. I just love how that sky sparkles.
Mm-hmm. That was a really fun masking technique that you showed. I had no idea how you did that. That was very fun.
And it's kind of a magical technique because it gives you so much depth in your project.
Mm-hmm. And with just a Post-it, that was kind of amazing.
Yes.
So we've got just another minute or so to finish gluing those pieces. If you have any questions or comments, please go ahead and enter those in the Q&A so that we can address those and make sure that your project is going along very smoothly. And we'll get started with the next segment of the video in just a minute. Okay, hopefully everybody's had a chance to glue those 2 pieces down. So you've got your sky and your snowbank there without the top completely adhered. And I think we are just about ready to go ahead and start the next segment. So here we go. Oh, let me stop that one screen share. I have to remember to push all my buttons here. Otherwise my eyes dart around as I'm pushing buttons. There we go. Now you see what I see, I think. Do you see the video now?
Looks great.
Okay.
One of the little trees that I have to put in is this one. And this one works great if you just put a tiny bit of glue all the way straight down from the top. And that's going to tuck in right under this edge that you've left up just a little bit. It's going to go up right so it's silhouetted a little bit against this this moon or sun. And then I'm going to stick in one of these little single trees. That's going to go in again right under here. And then I'm going to layer these two together. First I'll put this one down, and then I'll put that one down underneath that. So just add a little glue here, and that's going to kind of go in right there. And that one's going to be up almost as high as I can make it. And then this next one is going to be tucked in a little bit more. So we'll tuck that one in and just move that down ever so slightly. So I've got kind of that sense of depth coming out, where I've got a lighter one and a darker one. And then I have one more little tree here, and that is going to get tucked right over here by itself, just right there on the edge. So there we go. So now we have that one skyline done and ready to go.
All right, so there's all of our trees to put in. So we're going to pause here for just a couple of minutes so that you can finish gluing in all of your trees. I'm gonna, I don't know, Laura, would it be better to leave the screen here so that they can just see the trees, or would you rather go back to the finished product?
Either way, I think is just fine. I think this looks good.
Okay, let's leave it here just for a minute or so, and then maybe we'll go to the other screen so that people can see the final product as well. But again, we're going to pause the video here just for a couple of minutes so that you have a chance to carefully get all those trees in place.
We've got a lot of trees here.
Yes.
And those trees are fun to make. They're all been hand die cut with dies. So each one of your trees was handmade.
Wow, thank you. Yeah, I know that it takes a lot of time to put all of these kits together for us. Thank you. But it's, you know, you have such a wealth, such an assortment of materials. It must be really fun to work with. And you designed this product, this whole, you know, the whole wall hanging.
Yes. You won't, yeah, you won't see this anywhere else unless somebody snuck into my studio and copied it, but I don't think they did that.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and switch the screen share to the other view, just that we have a chance to see what it might look like as the whole finished project. Okay, so that's what we're aiming for with all those trees in the background. And obviously they can move back and forth just a little bit, just however you'd like to orient them. We'll wait here just another minute to give you a chance to finish gluing, and then we'll move on to the next step. Oh, there is a question, Laura, is the skinnier dark green tree the first one? So
yes, that's a great question. That is correct. It's the skinny dark green one. Good question.
Okay, so can you see my cursor as I don't know if, you know, this is one of the limitations of Zoom. I'm pointing to it, but I'm not sure that translates onto the screen.
I can see it.
Oh, okay. So you can see that this is the tree that goes on first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a particular one that you would follow up with, or?
The next one we have another dark tree and two light trees for the next kind of session. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then of course it's a forest. So they can really be wherever they want. However you like your trees, they can be that way.
Great. Okay, I think we've all had a chance to glue those background trees. And so I'm going to go ahead and cue up the next section of the video. All right, so you should be seeing that, and here we go.
The next thing I want to do is I want you to put this piece in place, and you'll see on the back of yours it already has little dimensionals on them. So just go ahead and peel off the backing of each of those and throw those little pieces away. They just go in the trash, which is nice. And this piece is going to line up right exactly where that, the bottom edge, right down here. So that's going to line up right there like that. And now it's time to make our house and put our word peace on together. One of the things I like to do when I'm doing something as fine as this is I like to put a little bit of my glue in a little dot on the paper here, and then use a toothpick to sort of grab some glue, and then I can just really position that glue just anywhere I want it in a very, very light layer. So we don't want to be having any of this glue ooze out. We just want enough on here to hold this piece in place. And always it's the edges that need the most, so they don't come up. And that is going to layer right on top of this other word that says peace. Isn't that beautiful how that layers together? And so then that piece is going to get glued on here, and we can go ahead and do that. I can use my glue here to just put a little bit there, just little tiny dots. Not a lot. You don't want to ooze this glue out and have it show. So we'll just put that word peace right there. Oh, doesn't that look great right there? Love.
Okay, so so in this step, we're going to go ahead and do the what do you call those? The dimensional pieces.
We'll do the dimensionals. We'll just take them off the backing and put them in place, and that'll have that layer lifted up a little bit. So for this next section, we'll be able to tuck our trees and our house behind that layer without having to leave it up. So yeah.
Okay, and then also the very fine work with the two layered piece sign. So we will pause here again just for a couple minutes, just so you really have a chance to do that carefully and position those just the way you'd like to. So I'll go ahead and switch to the photo of the finished project. All right. So you can see a little bit better here how that front snowbank has a little bit of dimensionality and is raised, and then the two pieces for the word peace on the front there. So we'll pause here just for another minute or so we can take our time and really glue that carefully. That's so fine.
Yes, and you want that piece to be, kind of a nice straight word, not too crooked. It's a little bit forgiving, but just where you want it.
And just a reminder, your Q&A is probably open there, and you can enter any questions or comments that you have as we're going along. We'd love for this to be interactive, so you can let us know if you have any questions about something as you're crafting along. We'll wait here just another minute or so to give us a chance to do this without trying to rush ahead to the next step. Okay, hopefully you've had a chance to get those pieces. I keep saying pieces and thinking of the word piece. You've got your snowbank in place along the bottom edge there, and you have that two-layered piece word there in the front. And so I think we're ready to go ahead with the next section of the video. So let me cue that up. All right, what's next?
Love it. Now let's go ahead and put the pieces of the house together. I'm just going to flip these over so I have them on the back. And we have a roof, we have 2 windows and a door. So we'll just put those together. Now hopefully you're following along, and I do tend to go pretty fast, but hopefully you're able to kind of get things together like this. And my little roof piece goes on here. All of these pieces were die cut. I have a die cutting machine and a whole collection of wonderful dies. And so the trees and the house and the word peace and all of this was die cut for you by hand. I hope you enjoy that. And it's something that I teach in lots of my classes. So there's my house. It's ready to go, and that's going to get tucked in behind here. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on the back of the house and position that. You could lay your trees out ahead of time and then put them in individually if you want to, but I know that I'm going to just tuck my house right in there behind that little snowbank. There we go. And then
Okay, again, I keep stopping you in the middle of a word or phrase in the video there, but that we'll pause there again just for a couple minutes to give everybody a chance to put that house together and then glue that in place. So we'll pause here to let everyone catch up just a little bit. I'm just resetting my timer so we have the time about right. And that just goes a little bit behind the snowbank, right?
Yes, it's a freshly fallen snow. It's just a wonderful scene. I just imagine this little cabin in the woods and all that bright sunshine and crisp snow that's sparkling. It's just fun to imagine that little setting.
Yes, absolutely. Someone has asked a little bit about classes, and you did refer to that in the video. I don't know whether you'd like to talk about that now while people are crafting, or mention that at the end of tonight's program.
I can tell you about it right now. In a normal world, pre-COVID, I would be hosting a whole variety of classes here at my home. And people come, and the kits, just like you saw, are pretty well prepared. And people sign up for the projects that they want to do. And then they come in, and under my instruction, one-on-one and with a group, I teach people how to make cards and projects and gift things and just a whole huge variety of things. Now, during this COVID period where we're not able to gather, it's more like we're doing tonight. So I prepare videos and I prepare kits, and people have them mailed to them or come and pick them up, and then craft along on your own timing, in your own pace, and can stop the videos or keep them going. So it's a video just like this that you would get with every project. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have a couple of different additional kits besides the one that we're doing tonight that people might be interested in.
Correct. Yes.
Right. Well, and we certainly thank you for putting this one together for us. This is really fun, and you did such a lovely job designing this. Looks like we probably have had enough time to get our house together and tuck it in behind that snowbank. So I think I'm going to go ahead and share the next segment of the video. Here we go.
Great.
then I'm going to take this next bigger tree and put that in. And again, I like to just do a bead of glue right down the center. That's going to hold that in place. And it's fine with me if this goes a little past my snow out here. I don't have a problem with that. I think it looks kind of fun that it goes out there and it's on top of my house. And then I have the next little tree. That little tree, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put a bead of glue straight down the center here and tuck that in here. And that one's, look at how my house is just nestled in between these trees. It looks like a beautiful winter scene where the evergreens are just growing up beautifully. And here's my last one. This is the darkest green piece. And I'm just going to take that and again tuck that in, so that's right here. and put my tree in. Isn't that great? So hopefully I haven't gone too fast and you're able to get all your pieces in place. I'm just going to hold that down for a second.
Okay, so again, we'll pause here just to glue those trees. They're so fine and delicate. We'll just give everyone a minute or so to get those glued on. And you suggested doing the darkest one last, is that right?
Yes, over to the right-hand side. I think I just like it that way, but of course, if you like it differently, that's okay. I love it when people take projects and put their own personality into them and their own vision. I think it's just fun to add that creative touch to things.
Absolutely. And we've had a chance to see this one in the video. I'm going to stop the screen share for just a minute and show the final project again, just as another way of looking at it. It looks pretty similar, but just a perhaps slightly clearer image than the one in the video as people are finishing up those trees. Give me about 30 more seconds here. Again, the pieces are so fine and little. And I remember so many times you talking about just really tiny dots of glue.
And if something should happen and you do have some glue that escapes, which I have to confess happens to me more often than I'd like to admit, it may stay sticky for a little while. But one of the tricks you can do is just dab it with a tiny bit of powder or cornstarch or flour, and then whisk away with a little bristled brush anything that's sticking. And that will keep it from being tacky so that when you pack it away with your Christmas things or your winter things, it won't be stuck to everything else.
Wow, that's a great tip. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, I think our trees are probably in place, so I'm going to stop the screen share of the final piece and go back to, we just have one or two more segments of this video to share.
Once this is all dry, now it's ready for you to put onto your piece, onto your backing piece that has your ribbon already glued onto it. So what's important to remember is that you want this ribbon to be sandwiched in between these two layers. So this layer is going to go right on top of this. So from the back, it's going to look nice and clean and you won't see anything glued. And it's also stronger that way because the ribbon has both of these pieces to hold on to. So the best way to do this is to flip this over, and hopefully it's all dry for you now. Doesn't that look out just beautiful and fun and exciting? And so then what you want to do is just put a bead of glue all the way around the edge, and you can see that I've stayed inside the edge a little bit, not right to the edge. And then that's going to go on top of here. There we go. And you'll notice that you see some of these corners from the cardboard showing. And we'll show you how to fix that in a minute. So you can see you've got that all ready to go. Doesn't that look beautiful? So excited about that. And now it's time to grab a pair of scissors. And you're just going to want to trim these little corners off to match the corners that were already cut for you. That just gives it more of a designer look to it. So I'm just going to come here and cut right around this one. There we go. And the same thing here. By doing this at the end, it doesn't really matter exactly where you placed your cardboard. It will automatically match up with your beautiful red background to your wall hanging. And there's my fourth one here. Okay, so there we go. There's your finished piece, ready to hang, ready to give away. I hope you have so much fun making this project.
Okay. So again, we'll just take another minute or two to finish up the projects and glue the piece on that backing board like you showed us. That's the most glue I've ever seen you use in what time? uh, but of course, yeah, to get those two pieces together. Again, just a reminder, if you have any questions about any of the steps, please go ahead and leave those in the Q&A for us so that we can address those for you. Don't see any additional right now. We did forget to tell you to bring along a pair of scissors, so you might have to run and get one of those or finish it a little bit later. But yeah, it looks great.
And do be sure to tuck that hanging ribbon out of the way when you're cutting, because sometimes you need a little bit of extra force to cut through cardboard, and it would be easy to just go ahead and cut that ribbon at the same time. So, and I'm probably speaking from experience. That just might have happened to me at some time or another. So I'm going to hopefully share some of my issues that I've had so that you'll be safe and keep that ribbon from being cut.
That's a very good tip. We appreciate your humility there.
Well, I always tell people that the reason I know how to teach is because I'm sure that I have made every possible mistake that's possible in these crafting things. So, and I try to remember them. So I like to make your turn doing this as successful as possible and as much fun as possible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. All right. So we'll maybe just have one more minute here. Oh, someone is asking, Laura, is there a particular glue that you recommend?
The one that I really like is the one that I was using during the video, and it's called a multi-glue. And it's a really interesting glue because it doesn't dimple the paper when you put it on in small amounts. Sometimes something like a school glue or an Elmer's glue will actually ripple your paper because it's got such a wet content. But this is a great glue for that. And the other thing that's so much fun about this particular glue is that you can use it the way we did to hold things very permanently. Or if you were to put those dots around the corners and then let it dry, say open, like you'd put dots on both sides, when you put it back together, it will be, you'll be able to remove things. So for instance, in scrapbooking, say you were going to put a picture down and you thought, well, I think I want it there, but I'd love a chance to be able to change it out. You could put it there and you'd be able to remove it by letting this glue dry independently on the two sides and then putting it together. So it's a phenomenal glue.
Wow. So it stays just sticky enough so that you can move things. Interesting.
Exactly. Yes. And sometimes when I'm preparing my projects, I'll use that technique in case I'm not quite sure where that tree should go. So I'll put it down and then I can still move it because it's sticky but not permanent.
Somehow I'm remembering color forms from when I was a kid. I'm dating myself.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, exactly. For sure.
All right. Well, I think we probably have had a chance to put the beautiful front piece on our back piece at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the screen share, and we'll go ahead and see if anyone has any additional questions. Hopefully you have your beautiful finished piece in front of you now. And so I think that may be it. The instructions were really good. So I think everybody had great success. I don't see any more questions there, but certainly thank you so much, Laura. We want to thank you for all of the time that you spent putting this together, designing it, and putting all of these kits together for us. I will be sending out an email to everyone who's registered for this class so that they can get to the recording of it on our YouTube page, as well as that will have contact information for you, Laura, in case they would like to contact you about materials or about classes. So we will be sending that out in an email to everyone who's registered for the class. If by chance you are watching this recording and you didn't have a chance to participate in the class, but you would like Laura's contact information, just go ahead and email me at ce@wheatonlibrary.org. That's CE as in community engagement at wheatonlibrary.org. And I would be happy to send you Laura's contact information so that you can get a hold of her that way. Other than that, the program will be up on our YouTube page in about a week. Our IT department just does a little bit of magic with it, and then they will upload it, and we will send that link out to everyone who's registered for the class. Let me just double check and see if there are any other questions here. I'm looking, and that's why my eyes are darting around. I don't think so. I think we are done. So thank you so much, Laura. Really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, everyone. Hope you had a wonderful time creating this beautiful piece. I know it'll be really special this holiday and a great memory in the years to come. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Stay safe, everybody, and take care. Hope to see you soon.